Hey! Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to the preview of Neeko, the Curious Chameleon. Throughout this video, I'll be going over each of Neeko's abilities, showing you gameplays and everything else you need to know to give you a better idea as to what this champion even does, and you're in for quite a surprise. Neeko is an immobile mage that can disguise herself to trick enemies and then burst them down. So speaking of disguising herself, let's start off with her passive first, which is called Inherent Glamour. Neeko can disguise herself to appear as an allied champion, damaging or taking damage from enemy champions, or casting either Blooming Burst or Tangled Barbs, which is the Q and E, breaks the illusion and increases the cooldown. This ability is what kind of defines Neeko for what the champion really is, a chameleon. You're going to be using this in combination with a lot of your other abilities to truly confuse the enemy and make them second guess everything that they see. Moving on to her Q ability, Blooming Burst. Neeko propels a seed into a target area, which blooms and damages enemies. If the burst kills an enemy or damages a champion or large monster, it will bloom again up to 2 times, dealing reduced damage. This is Neeko's bread and butter ability. You'll be using this for the majority of your tasks, whether it's harassing opponents, harassing in the lane, or using it for wave clear. This is also the ability you're going to want to max first in almost all scenarios. Moving on to Neeko's W ability, it is called Shape Splitter, and it has 2 parts to it. The passive being, every 3rd basic attack resonates with spiritual energy, dealing bonus magic damage and briefly increasing Neeko's movement speed. And the active portion of her W is, Neeko briefly slips out of sight, becoming invisible, gaining movement speed, and sending a temporary clone of her current form sprinting in a chosen direction. Her W passive opens her up to attack speed build, so something like Gnasher's Tooth, and this will make things very interesting and actually quite strong in her as well. But her W active is where things get much more interesting, because this is where you can use to really confuse your opponents, combined with your passive, and later you'll see also combined with your ultimates. You will usually want to max this ability last because it is essentially a 1-point wonder, but again, don't forget you can also choose the direction that the clone runs in to truly confuse your opponents. Moving on to Neeko's E ability, Tangled Barbs. Neeko slings a magical spiral in a direction, damaging and briefly rooting enemies it passes through. The last champion hit is rooted longer. If Tangled Barbs hits at least 2 enemies, it grows in size, speed, and root duration. So let me tell you this, if you thought Morgana binding lasted for a while, or you thought Lux Q was annoying to deal with, then you haven't seen anything yet. This ability you will want to max second because it is very powerful, because not only can it also be used for wave clear, but don't forget it goes through minions and it goes through champions. So you can actually use this to go through minions in the laning phase to hit the champion hiding behind the minions, thinking they're safe, to catch them off guard. And on top of this, if it does go through at least, let's say, 2 minions, it goes faster and it becomes harder to dodge, which makes it very, very powerful. And did I mention that the root duration can go up to 3 seconds? And last but not least, we have her ultimate, Pop Blossom. Neeko begins charging herself with spiritual essence. A moment later, she leaps into the air, gains a shield, and slows nearby enemies, releasing energy upon landing to massively damage and stun enemies in a large area. When disguised by Inherent Glamour, which is her passive, enemies won't actually see Neeko's initial charge up to her ultimates, thus giving them a lot less time to dodge the detonation. So the base damage on her ultimate isn't anything insane, however the scaling is. It scales exceptionally well, so as you start getting more and more AP, this ultimate is going to seriously hurt. And since Neeko is fairly immobile, this is going to obviously force her to be in the middle of a teamfight, or at least fairly deep into the lines, which is why you get a shield based on how many enemy champions there are around you as you initially detonated. So a quick rough example is you can disguise yourself as an allied Olaf that's low on HP, and you can pretend like you're about to int it down, run it right at them, and then instantly pop your ultimate. They won't see the initial charge up, but by the time they realize you're not actually Olaf, you're actually Neeko, it's a little bit too late, because you can also follow up with your E ability first, and then you can actually let the ultimate explode, forcing them to take the damage. Or if you really need to, you can also use your W for that extra movement speed on top of also your W's passive to try and catch up to your opponents. All in all though, this gives Neeko a very interesting dynamic, because even though she is an immobile mage that usually wants to kind of sit in the back and just be very confusing, you have to watch out, because if a certain teamfight gives her the opportunity, she will actually go right in the middle of it with her ultimate and instantly turn the tides in her favor, and this ultimate's damage, especially as the game progresses, is not something you want to take lightly. Now let's take a look at some examples from in-game. Alright, so in this example you can see how I play the laning phase. So I have all 3 abilities I just hit level 3, and this one I want to try to fake her out with my W. Unfortunately it actually does not work, but it does show some aggressiveness. dangerous. Now, the second the Lissandra walks a little bit too close, I'm always looking for the minions to combine with my E so that it ensures the long snare on the Lissandra. And there you can see I landed it. The second it lands, I instantly throw my Q. It almost guarantees that she'll get procced by all 3 Qs with ignites, and also the auto for my W passive nails me the first blood kill. So in this next example, you're going to be seeing a massive team fight where we try to just get as big of a wombo as we can because her ultimate is just so good at it. So the enemy team decides to start up the dragon, and luckily for us, we have a massive combo. So the Zac goes in, ults them all back. I pop my ultimate, the AoE smashes everyone down. We get massive kills and they die in just a matter of seconds, which is a great demonstration as to how she can be used in team fights and just the potential that her ultimate can offer. So this next example is going to be showing how well you can use her passive to also bait enemy champions. So in this case, I disguise myself as the Zac, who's actually quite low on HP, and I run into the enemy Zen. He thinks I'm an actual Zac, so he tries to fight me, but little does he know, I'm actually a full HP Neeko. Instantly burst him down, and it's just that simple. Alright, so this next clip is a perfect demonstration of just deception. So I'm hiding in the bush, pretending like I'm a Zac about to gank. They don't know I'm even in this bush, but we have the real Zac above them as well. So I initiate the gank with my W. They actually think that's the real Zac initially because the clone runs out while I'm invisible. Little did they know, I'm actually a Neeko. Pop my ultimate, do my full damage, and then the real Zac also re-engages from the behind as well, and we can go ahead and clean them up quite easily. So in this next clip, you're going to be seeing kind of a trolley looking gank where I disguise myself as a Zac, and we actually make 3 clones of a Zac, or I guess 3 Zacs total. So as I'm in this bush with the Zac himself, he goes out at the same time as I go out. I also throw out my W, so now we have 3 Zacs total on top of this Lissandra. And even with that, I mean, we just instantly pick up the kill on her because there's really not a whole lot she can do anymore. And it just kind of shows you what you can really do with this champion and the depth and potential with this champion as well. Okay, so this next example has to be my favorite one by far. So in this one, I want to pretend like I'm actually the Graves. So I can see that my bot lane is actually losing. The Graves is a little bit low on HP. The Lucian is obviously being quite aggressive. So as the Graves walks out of vision, I actually take the form of Graves. Don't forget, I have his HP bar to the enemy team. So they think I'm low HP. They think I'm the real Graves. So I'm purposely playing a little bit scared. They think I'm, kind of inting it, running it down. They hard engage on me. But little do they know, I'm a full HP Neeko once again. And I just unleash my load on them and they die. So in this example, it's going to be showing you what great teamwork can do and just 200 IQ plays as well. So I take the form of my Zac, which is of course my team's jungler, and we go for the dragon, while the real Zac with our AD carry, which is Graves, are actually doing Baron. Now while we're doing the dragon, the enemy team, actually you're going to see here, walks up to the pit and they scout us and they see we're doing it, but you want to make sure you don't take any damage from dragon or else you will go back to your original form. Now because of this, the enemy team is obviously very sure that we are actually doing dragon, which we are, but they also think that I'm the jungler. But little do they know, this whole time, even though we still get the dragon, our 2 allies, and one of them being the real jungler, are doing Baron this whole time. And we, on top of get the dragon, we also get the Baron as well for our team. And I mean, these kind of plays are hard to do. Only works, of course, if you're fed, but if you are fed, then you can do some pretty cool stuff. So for the next part of the video, I'll show you guys some live footage of me playing back when I was at Riot, showing you some just gameplay that we had overall, which is going to be hopefully quite interesting to see.
Alright. Oh, there it is. Nice. I love how her E goes through minions. It's so nice. Oh, it's water here. They know I'm here. I got him. I was hoping I didn't need to flash.
5, 6, 7.
This is my chance. Alright. Alright. Oh yeah, baby, let's go. Oh yes, I like it. Finally, dude. Oh, he saw me transform. Awkward. Stole it. I'm so fucked. Coming in hot, baby! Hey! Stella, you, obviously. Oh, baby. Oh, that's a lot of people. Alright. Alright, maybe that was a little ambitious, my bad, man. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Oh yeah. Oh my god. So much damage. I think we heal him, bro. Wait, that didn't hit him? Nice. Still alive, huh? Oh my god, they all blocked me, I couldn't get in! Oh, they didn't. I'm missing too. Got the Jin though. Oh my god. Yeah, I got voice up, I got voice up. Wait, let that go away. Alright, still doing it though. Wait, I took so much damage. Oh shit, come here baby! Ah! Get out of here. I'm dead though. Like, she ignited me, what can I say? I'll wait. Yeah. Oh! The spear smash. Oh no. No, please, mercy. Oh, wait, I actually did quite a bit to the arm, but it wasn't enough. It's all you. It's all you. Nice try, nice try. Good try.
And the last part of this video is going to be with some music, showing off all her emotes, showing her backing animation, showing her skin as well, and just some general gameplay just destroying minions and showing off her abilities together once again. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for the preview of Neeko, the Curious Chameleon. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this champion and what you think of her abilities and how overall overpowered you think she'll be, how her playstyle is, and whatever other comments you have. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, definitely make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Check out my other videos as well, and I'll see you guys for the full gameplay of Neeko in just a bit.